The battlefield lay desolate beneath the pale light of a distant sun, serving as a stark testament to the carnage that had unfolded. Twisted metal and smoldering debris were scattered across the terrain, remnants of alien warships that had dared to challenge Earth's sovereignty. Yet among the wreckage, no bodies were to be found, neither human nor alien, a conundrum that stirred whispered conversations throughout the galaxy. Concealed within the shadow of a nearby asteroid, Captain Aurea Knox observed the scene through the lens of a high-powered scope. A scar stretched from her cheek to her chin, marking her visage with a tale of survival. Although her expression remained stoic, her eyes flickered with a hint of satisfaction. The ghost soldiers under her command had executed another flawless mission, remaining unseen and unheard, instilling fear into the hearts of those foolish enough to invade Earth's territories. Status report. Aurea commanded, her voice slicing through the silence of the command deck with calm authority. Phase cloak is holding at 99.7% efficiency. All units are accounted for, no casualties, reported Lieutenant Marston, his fingers deftly navigating the holographic display that hovered above the console. And the enemy? Inquired, her gaze never wavering from the scope. Scattered and confused, they cannot comprehend how their armada was decimated without a single direct confrontation. Marston answered, his voice tinged with pride. Aurea nodded subtly, her mind already leaping ahead. The ghost soldiers' technology, which enabled them to phase through solid objects and become virtually invisible, had transformed them into legends. To their adversaries, they appeared as phantoms, capable of annihilating a fleet without leaving a trace. As Aurea continued her survey of the wreckage, her communicator vibrated with an incoming transmission, a secure line from Earth Command. She tapped her earpiece to respond. Captain Knox, this is Admiral Hayes. Another impressive victory. The Council is pleased, announced the voice, crisp and formal. Thank you, sir. We aim to serve. Aurea replied, her tone deliberately neutral, masking the fatigue that gnawed at her. There's more, Aurea. Intelligence suggests a major summit among the alien coalitions. They're rattled and considering a ceasefire. Your actions have afforded us a significant advantage. A pause hung in the air, laden with implications. Aurea chose her next words carefully. And what would you have us do, sir? Maintain the pressure. We cannot afford to relent now. Your next target awaits. Coordinates and details will be sent within the hour. Understood, Admiral. We'll begin preparations immediately. Aurea affirmed before ending the transmission. She then faced her crew, illuminated by the soft blue light of the command deck. We have another mission, she announced, her voice resolute. The crew straightened, instantly alert. Details will follow. But rest assured, it's another high-stakes target. Murmurs of determination spread among the team. These were the best of the best, chosen for their skills and their capacity to achieve the impossible. Under Aurea's leadership, they had become more than mere soldiers. They were guardians, unseen shields against the galaxy's darkest threats. As Aurea prepared to exit the deck, Marston approached her. Captain, may I have a word? Of course, Lieutenant. Aurea paused, turning to address him. It's about the tech. There's been talk. Some feel it's pushing us too hard, stripping us of our humanity. Aurea regarded Marston's sincere expression. Our humanity isn't defined by the tools we wield, but by what we choose to protect. Remember, Marston, we fight not only for Earth's survival, but for its soul. Marston nodded, somewhat reassured, yet Aurea knew his concerns were profound. The technology that enveloped them also isolated them, rendering them specters on the fringes of reality. It was a fine line between being a ghost and a legend, and Aurea navigated it daily. Retreating to the solitude of her quarters, Aurea's thoughts drifted to the upcoming mission. The ghost soldiers would strike once more, causing the galaxy to tremble anew. But behind the whispered legends and awe-inspiring tales, Arya Knox harbored a longing for the day when she could lay down her arms and unveil the truth behind the phantoms. Until that time, the whispers would only intensify, entwining the ghost soldiers ever deeper into the fabric of galactic myths, revered and feared as the soldiers who could not be vanquished. Beneath the vast expanse of the Nevada desert, in the bowels of a classified military facility, Captain Arya Knox stood behind a one-way mirror, observing a scene poised to revolutionize human warfare. The room beyond the glass was stark, charged with an air of palpable tension. At its center stood a man whose body flickered intermittently, reminiscent of a faulty transmission. "Project Spectre is operational," announced Dr. Elena Mirov, the lead scientist, her voice filtering through Arya's earpiece tinged with both excitement and apprehension. Arya watched with rapt attention as the subject, a volunteer from the Special Forces, effortlessly passed through a solid steel wall and re-emerged on the other side, his grin starkly contrasting with the gravity of the experiment. This breakthrough, the ability for a human to phase through solid objects, was the moment they had all been waiting for. "It's working, Elena. He's actually doing it," Arya murmured, almost to herself, her gaze fixed on the figure in the test chamber. In the observation room, the atmosphere buzzed with possibility. Military brass mingled with the foremost scientific minds, all congregated to witness what had once been deemed impossible. General Carter, a high-ranking officer known for his uncompromising demeanor, turned to Arya, his expression inscrutable. "Captain Knox, your report didn't overstate the facts. This is indeed impressive," he remarked, his voice laced with a trace of incredulity. Arya nodded, her attention unwavering. "It's only the beginning, sir. Consider the applications on the battlefield. Infiltration, espionage, extraction. Limitations are now relics of the past." Dr. Mirov approached, her lab coat whispering against the floor as she walked. "We've stabilized the quantum matrix for smoother transitions," she explained. "It's safe, controlled, yet not without risks." General Carter's brow furrowed slightly. "Risks? Elaborate, Doctor." "The phasing process is intensely taxing on the human body. We're still evaluating the long-term effects. Plus, there's the potential for entanglement. We cannot afford any errors with such a powerful tool at our disposal." A shiver ran down Arya's spine at the mention of entanglement. Failed phase could mean molecular disintegration. Daunting risk that could make even the most courageous soldier hesitate. Nonetheless, the prospect of dominating the battlefield with such a formidable capability was too compelling to ignore. "How do you recommend we proceed?" General Carter inquired, turning his gaze back to Arya, who had already decided. "With meticulous selection and training, we can establish a unit, a special ops team trained to leverage this technology to its fullest potential," Arya suggested, her voice firm despite the shadow of doubt lingering in her mind. The general considered her proposal, his eyes returning to the soldier now facing back through the wall amidst the scientist's applause. "Captain Knox, be aware that should this project fail, it could terminate careers, yours included," he stated, his tone stern. "I am cognizant of the risks, sir, but the potential rewards. Imagine a unit capable of materializing and vanishing at will, striking without warning, traceless. We would be invincible." Silence enveloped the room, the significance of her words resonating deeply. Arya's conviction was evident, her commitment to the project unwavering. She recognized the dangers and the ethical dilemmas inherent to each test, but the strategic advantage was irrefutable. General Carter finally nodded, his expression resolute. "Very well, Captain Knox. You are to lead this initiative. Assemble your team. Start small, validate its effectiveness. Operation Ghost Soldiers is authorized." A mix of excitement and apprehension surged through Arya as she saluted. "Yes, sir. I will not disappoint." As the assembly dispersed, Aria lingered, observing as the soldier in the test chamber repeated his facing demonstration. Each successful passage through the wall marked a departure from traditional combat tactics toward something more formidable. Dr. Marov approached her, a look of caution in her eyes. "Are you prepared for what's to come?" "Aria, this venture transcends new tactics. You're about to guide a team into uncharted territory." His gaze was steady, her determination palpable. "I was born ready, Elena. Let's make history." Thus, Aria Nox emerged from the shadows of observation to spearhead a new epoch in warfare. The ghost soldiers had transcended theory to become a reality, and she was their commander. The future brimmed with uncertainties and hidden perils. Yet Aria was resolute in navigating these challenges, for the sake of humanity and for victory. In the murky pre-dawn light of the alien world, Telos V, an intense stillness enveloped the landscape, as if the universe itself held its breath. Amid this serene quiet, Captain Aria Nox surveyed the horizon from her concealed vantage point. Below her, the enemy coalition's encampment sprawled, a complex network of pulsing energy shields and metallic structures, abuzz with the imminent threat of war. Her team, the fabled ghost soldiers, shrouded by the shadows of their advanced cloaking technology, awaited her command. "Status report," Aria whispered, her voice barely a ripple in the calm. "All units in position, Captain," replied Lieutenant Mace, his voice ethereal in her earpiece. "Facing capabilities on standby." Aria's gaze remained fixed on the panorama of danger below. Today marked their first deployment in actual combat, the culmination of Earth's desperate advancements in military technology. According to rumors circulating within the military high command, the success or failure of this mission could decisively influence humanity's stance against the alien coalition. "Remember, we strike swift, we strike silent. We are shadows, ghosts that the wind forgot," Aria instructed, her voice both firm and spectral. "On my mark." Her order was interrupted by a sudden flare within the alien camp. The enemy, a coalition of species from the Xanth system known for their brutal conquests, began to mobilize. War machines, reminiscent of behemoths from ancient myths, powered up, their energy cores casting an ominous glow across the landscape. "Now," Aria breathed, her command slicing through the mounting tension. Instantly, the ghost soldiers activated their facing technology. Like specters, they slipped through the solid ground, effortlessly bypassing the energy barriers, undetected. Aria led the charge, her heart steady, her resolve as unyielding as the steel of her blade. They materialized inside the command tent, transforming the scene from calm to chaos. Alien commanders scrambled, wholly unprepared for the phantoms now among them. Aria locked eyes with a Xanth general. His features were harsh, his skin the color of rusted iron, and just as unyielding. Yet in his eyes flickered a trace of fear. Without hesitation, Aria activated her combat blade, its edge a shimmering blue, and advanced. The general barked orders in his guttural language, but his commands were futile. Aria's team was already upon them, their phasers discharging in silent, deadly bursts. Each shot was a ghostly whisper of impending doom. Aria reached the general, her blade now poised at his throat. "Yield," she demanded, her voice low, an almost pitying murmur. His eyes widened, then narrowed, conceding to the futility of resistance. The tent fell eerily silent as the last of the alien officers were subdued. Aria's soldiers, their cloaking fields dissipating, emerged as if stepping out from the mists of legend. "Secure the perimeter," Aria commanded, her voice authoritative. Her team moved with practiced precision, their presence as commanding as any legendary army. As her lieutenant reported the success of their secondary objectives, Aria turned back to the captured general. "Why do you invade peaceful systems? Why bring war where there is peace?" she queried, not expecting a comprehensible reply. The general responded with a defiant spit in his language. Arya sighed, knowing the translation would come later, but the sentiment was clear without interpretation. "Transport these prisoners to the command ship," she ordered. "Ensure they are treated with dignity. Fear may win territories, but respect wins loyalty." As the prisoners were escorted away, Arya paused to survey the camp. Smoke rose in lazy spirals into the breaking dawn. Today marked a victory, a significant one, yet the war was far from over. Arya knew the ghost soldiers had now etched their mark on the galactic war theater. Their success today would undoubtedly bring greater challenges, but as she regarded her team, her ghosts, a rare surge of pride swelled within her. "We are the unseen protectors," she mused. "The shield in the shadow. Let them fear us, for we are the hope they never see coming." As they phased out, leaving behind the conquered camp and the burgeoning legends, Arya knew this was merely the beginning. Above them, the stars watched silently, eternal witnesses to humanity's indefatigable spirit.